The film opens with a man named Ray receiving an official notice congratulating him on his acceptance into a lethal competition called The Long Walk. The entire nation is set to witness the event through a live broadcast, with a prize that offers more than wealth, fame, or fortune. A single wish granted to the last man standing. Soon after, Ray prepares to depart, accompanied by his mother, Ginny. As they journey together, the bleak and decaying state of the world gradually comes into view. The atmosphere in the car is thick with strain as Ginny pleads for Ray to reconsider. But Ray insists it's his choice alone. Upon arrival, Ginny clutches him in a fierce embrace and sobs through her farewell. Ray then passes through the entrance gate and encounters Peter, who's unusually outgoing. In fact, nearly all the participants seem amiable. Before long, they're casually conversing while awaiting the kickoff. Curly paces restlessly, masking his anxiety, and the others note how youthful he appears. He insists he's 18, but no one buys it. Soon, the major shows up, handing each a metal tag with their number and declaring them men. He delivers a speech, claiming the long walk exists to motivate and restore the importance of hard work in a nation reeling economically from the war. Post-event, productivity surges annually. The major genuinely believes this addresses the country's woes, blaming sheer idleness. As he speaks, the walkers receive bracelets to track their pace. Next, the major outlines the rules. Keep moving until one remains, with no endpoint. Maintain at least 3 miles per hour. Dip below and earn a warning. Fail to recover in 10 seconds, another warning. 3 strikes mean execution. Veer off the asphalt and you're shot instantly. The major wraps up by forcing a cheer, then fires his pistol skyward to launch the event. The participants begin trudging, trailed by military vehicles filming it all. The surroundings are desolate and barren, as spectators are barred until the endgame. Early on, only locals near the route emerge to observe. An officer salutes the group, prompting an irritated Gary to flip him off and hawk on the dirt. Initially, focus is intense and silent, but by mile 5, chatter erupts among many. Stebbins eases his speed slightly and draws a warning, then corrects it. The others speculate if it was a deliberate probe of the boundaries. Gary halts to shake a pebble from his boot, triggering warnings from the troops. On the 3rd, a soldier readies to fire, but Gary slips the shoe back on and resumes just in time. The group deems him foolish, yet Gary argues it bought him a breather. By mile 7, talk turns to the reward. Arthur confesses he's in for the cash, but Ray counters that greater issues loom. Skeptics abound. So Ray launches into a tirade against the regime. The authorities frame it as voluntary, but poverty and desperation leave no real options. Some warn against bad-mouthing the walk on air, but Peter is inspired and suggests using winnings to aid others. Peter then sparks a smoke. Hank cautions it's unwise, but Arthur begs a drag. Their banter halts when Richard shoves past, jotting names and numbers for a future book to catapult him to stardom. Peter calls it pointless, since victory brings riches and renown anyway. Later, Curly cries out from leg cramps. He decelerates, earning warnings. Ray supports him physically while he and Peter urge him verbally. Energized, Curly attempts solo progress, but agony overwhelms him and he crumples. After the 3rd alert, a soldier blasts his skull. The horror makes Ray falter, netting him a warning. Peter shoves him onward. Shortly, the major materializes roadside, eulogizing the fallen comrade for his valor and urging fond remembrance. Ray requests a canteen refill from a guard, brushing the rifle like knocking on wood. When Peter needs to urinate, he does so mid-stride on the pavement. By mile 17, a girl roadside waves a sign rooting for Ray. The guys rib him about his admirer, noting her youth. Abruptly, a contestant seizes and drops. Troops issue warnings as Gary vaults over, scorning him for concealing ailments. The ill boy is soon dispatched, and Gary cheers the reduced rivalry. At mile 25, Gary torments a lad named Rank, who initially brushes it off, but Gary slurs Rank's mom, igniting fury. Rank swings wildly. Gary evades, and Rank tumbles hard. He fails to rise promptly, so soldiers gun him down. The rest berate Gary, faulting him and eager for his exit. Soon after, another walker drops trousers to defecate en route. Despite efforts to maintain pace, he lags and gets executed. By mile 35, the major returns, praising their survival into night one with patriotic jargon to frame it as heroic. Ray nods off, dreaming of Ginny. Troops warn him for slowing. Peter rouses him. Family tales fill the air as they plod, and Ray drifts again, earning warning two. He accelerates, but trips soon after for his third. Now, flawless steps for 3 hours to erase them. Peter boosts him, but Ray, edgy, lashes out that the concern is fake. Then, a sharp incline taxes them all. Fatigue claims several who collapse and die by bullet. Ray tunes out the rear carnage, but endures Gary's taunts. He begins lagging, but Peter steadies him timely. Ray thanks him and regrets his snap. They hit mile 59. Post-hill slaughter overnight, just 18 endure. By mile 67, Hank clings precariously. Peter inquires, but Hank barks him away. Meanwhile, Richard hobbles on a sprained ankle, finally easing up. Warnings come. Ray motivates, but Richard quits and falls. A trooper headshots him as kids nearby gawk. At the 100-mile mark, the major congratulates anew. One bolt for a structure and escape bid, but is mowed down instantly. Around mile 103, wish discussions arise. Peter proposes dual victors. Ray aims to overhaul the regime, but peers note wishes can't touch governance directly. Irritation builds, leading to curses at the major and event. Evening brings torrential rain. Ray fights sleep, Peter props him. Morning hits mile 144, where Arthur pauses to relieve bowels. Warnings fly, forcing incomplete business as he proceeds. Talk distracts from weariness. Ray shares about his father, his idol, who taught banned topics like philosophy, deemed treasonous. The major demanded cessation and allegiance. Refusal meant swift execution. Ray admits entering to wish for a pistol to assassinate the major. He resents roadside gawkers enjoying the torment. Peter counters their system victims too, brainwashed to see nobility. By mile 170, silence reigns. A walker with bloodied feet pleads for aid, attempting tank ascent. A guard clubs him off. Treads crush his limbs. Warnings persist amid screams until a headshot. The trauma unhinges another, who strips and bolts off-road, earning bullets. Hank spots a lost tooth. Evening reaches mile 201. Hank sways. Ray urges on, but Hank surrenders, facing the truck, shot immediately. Arthur, shattered, rushes to cradle his dying pal, drawing a warning. Ray yanks him clear. Next on, mile 209, with 6 remaining. They recall Hank's spouse, vowing prize portions to her. Gary, excluded, feels isolated. He confides in Ray. Rank's demise gnaws at him. No intent to kill. Apology offered, blame denied. He pledges aid to the widow, too, earning group acceptance. Gary then rants wildly about circumstances. Guilt overwhelming. After lashing out, he advances and uses a spoon to end himself. Troops warn and finish with a shot anyway. At mile 260, singing lifts spirits. Day 5, mile 278 routes through Ray's hometown. Collie envies Ray's home proximity, but Ray sees it as torment, ditching her anew. By mile 286 in town, Ray's boot disintegrates. Arthur notes imbalance risks. So Ray sheds both, exposing mangled, bloody feet. Spotting Ginny, Ray dashes for an embrace. She retreats, begging road adherence. Peter hauls him back before shots. Ray shouts a last sorry to his weeping mom. seeing himself as his father's echo. Peter recounts his past. War orphaned, abused by uncle until age 10, death. Street survival via theft and brawls. A knife slash in one fight hospitalized him. Self-blame led to vowing light and darkness. Victory means funding orphans. By mile 306, Stebbins argues mutual aid prolongs agony. Cease it. Reluctant agreement, guilt heavy. Arthur's nosebleed starts. They feign indifference. Collie cracks, sprinting to seize a soldier's weapon and kill him. Horror as Collie's riddled with fire. He denies them his end, suiciding first. At mile 324, Arthur's bleed worsens. Peter and Ray resume aid, defying pact. Arthur senses doom. He entrusts a locket for his grandma, begs no looks back, then approaches the truck for swift death. Night descends. By mile 326, the final trio crosses a bridge as the Major prattles. Ray hurls insults. The Major applauds the winner's edge. Stebbins unveils as one of the Major's many bastard sons, wishing paternal cohabitation. Organs failing, he craves conclusion. Honors the walk with them, glad Peter or Ray triumphs. He halts. Soldiers execute, father unmoved. Rain resumes. Ray confesses death once terrified him, but mass losses numb it. This matters. Mile 331 enters a thronged town, cheers roaring. Peter halts, offering surrender for Ray's maternal reunion. Ray declines, urging continuance. Peter advances, oblivious to Ray's stoppage. Troops shoot. Peter rushes back, but as champ, he's restrained. Ray professes love, apologies to Mom before the Major's finishing bullet. Masses roar. Pyrotechnics burst as Peter crumbles. The Major hails Peter, queries the wish. Peter requests a soldier's firearm to bequeath as triumph emblem. Guards hesitate, but the Major deems him worthy. Peter seizes it, aims at the Major, who soothes with promises of glory and riches. Weeping Peter declares, "This is for Ray," and fires point blank. He discards the weapon and departs. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.